place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
There has been something bothering me ever since Akira Toriyama essentially decided to create a brand new character out of thin air and a brand new concept and lore to Saiyans out of thin air. I mean, why now? Why essentially randomly create these two new concepts? What's up guys, Dragon Ball Black here. Want to go ahead and give a big shout out to all my new subscribers. Thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for joining our perfect world. I gained about a couple hundred in the last day or so thank you so much for subscribing. In this video, I want to go ahead and talk about why Akira Toriyama decided now to create this brand new character, and I think it has something to do with the yet to be confirmed Dragon Ball movies that are coming out 2018, 2019, 2020. For those of you guys who don't know, the producers of Dragon Ball Super have essentially reserved the domain names for Dragon Ball. I think it's Dragon Ball Super 2018, 19, and 20. And the only other time they did this was back when they created Dragon Ball Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F. They reserved those domain names for the years those movies came out. And so the Dragon Ball community jumped on this little bit of evidence and basically took it to mean that yes, there are Dragon Ball movies coming out. And in my opinion, I think that there are Dragon Ball movies coming out. In next year is probably going to be one, in 19 and 20. I don't think there's going to be a trilogy. I think these are going to be further to develop the backstory and give more lore to Dragon Ball Super, or some concepts in Dragon Ball Super that don't have as much lore as they needed. And so the existence to these domain names being reserved really, for me, pushes the idea that Akira Toriyama decided to create this brand new character and have the community really light up a fire under this character and concept, because right now this is trending. This is what everyone's talking about, Yamashi and these S cells. And I think the reason that Akira Toriyama did this is because he's hinting at next year's movie that is going to be focused solely on this character. I mean, why else would you just create a character out of thin air? And when it comes to Dragon Ball movies, right now I don't think these Dragon Ball movies are going to be connected as the last ones were to the Dragon Ball Super story. Battle of Gods came out as just a passion project just to get Dragon Ball back out there. It was actually called Dragon Ball Z. It wasn't even called Dragon Ball Super. This is before Dragon Ball Super came out, and that took the community and the world by storm. That really hit all markets, and I think it was the most expensive animated movie that was ever made in Japan, and it got a great reception. So they made Resurrection of F, which was also really good. And so when they created Dragon Ball Super, they decided to go ahead and inject these two stories into the first two seasons, and they really didn't get the response that they were hoping for, I think, because we've seen these stories before. So I don't think that they're going to be doing that. I don't think the next two movies are going to be connected to the future arcs like that, or the Tournament of Power arc. I don't think that's going to happen. But the only real way to make movies for Dragon Ball Super now is if you're going to flesh out concepts that aren't being fleshed out in Dragon Ball Super. Case in point, a backstory for Hit, Universe 6, the Universe 6 Saiyans, things like that need backstories. But this is a great direction to go in as well, because I can't think of another way to connect Dragon Ball Super to one of the things the fans love the most, which is Saiyans. I mean, you're essentially taking the concept of Super Saiyan God and you're getting a movie from the Universe 7 Saiyans before they were destroyed. Those are two great concepts that mesh together very well. This is a story that a lot of people want to see. They want to see the story of the first Super Saiyan God, and they want to see the early Saiyans, like an actual canon-based story on them. And so I think that is the reason that Akira Toriyama created this character out of thin air. I mean, and these S cells, these S cells explaining why these Saiyan characters are getting stronger and stronger, especially the Universe 6 Saiyans. It's a great tie-in to the Dragon Ball Super and how these characters gain power and gain levels, essentially. So the way I would make this movie is I would have it about an hour and a half long. I think that's as much time as you could put forward for a story like this. It doesn't need to be 2 hours or 2.5 hours. It needs to be, even an hour and a half is kind of pushing it. I think an hour-long story would be perfect. And it should start out with showcasing Yamashi and his followers and how they don't agree with the Saiyans. They don't agree with the barbaric nature of the Saiyans. And then they try to usurp or take control of the Saiyan society and rebel. And then the climax of the movie should be the death of Yamashi and his followers, and then toward the ending you get what happens afterward, where he kind of travels the world, maybe as a ghost or as a spirit, and trying to find new characters to implement this new ideology and the idea of Super Saiyan God. And in the characteristics that I would like to give this guy, I would like him to be similar to Goku in many ways, but a Goku that is in this Saiyan society and probably like a lot smarter. If he's starting a rebellion, he needs to know a little bit about the Saiyan politics and things that are going on like that. And I think that's why Akira Toriyama even delved in the same interview. He delved into the structure of Saiyan society. He delved into low-class Saiyans, high-class Saiyans, and the reason for this whole interview, I think, and all this information is just fluff and giving us a hint that that's what the next movie is going to be about. But anyway, guys, those are just my concepts. I want to know from you guys. I want to hear, do you guys think that this is going to be the next Dragon Ball movie? And if so, how would you make it? What would be the concepts and the structure of this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Drop me a like for Yamashi and subscribe. This is going to be Dragon Ball Black signing off.